This is the first time ever that Dubai racing cameras have come here to Middleham, a town that's become so famous for training racehorses that it's dubbed the new market of the north. And a man who is largely responsible for putting it on the map is Mark Johnston, and it's him that we've come here to meet. Mark, big thanks for letting us come along. It's amazing to see the place, and I think we've arrived at what is looking like it's going to be one of your best years. Certainly you've just had your best ever month in July.
Yeah, certainly best ever month. I think people forget a little bit. We had 217 winners last year. I don't think we're going to reach those heights because things are quite different this year with more 2-year-olds, but we're absolutely delighted with the way it's gone and with the 2-year-old team in particular because they've done so well. It's incredible.
And I think it's going to be something like 22 years that you've reached the century. How do you do it? How do you keep that consistency?
I don't really know, to be honest, but it's one of the things I'm most proud of, to try and be consistent, because I think every yard has ups and downs. We all go through troughs when it's very difficult and you don't know why they're not running well, and you don't know why they're not winning. And I think the important thing is you've got to pick yourself up and get back going again within the season. You can't let that trail on for too long. And thankfully, we've always managed that. We've always managed to get back on our feet. We've had our low points, but we've always managed to pull through it.
And you've got a huge operation here. I've sort of had a little look around some of the other parts of the farm as well. How has it grown? I mean, where did you, I think you started from scratch, didn't you? But more than doubled, trebled since? Where did you start?
Oh, no, many more times than doubled or trebled. We started in Lincolnshire, training on a beach in 1987, and I was there for 2 seasons, just 1 winner in the first year, 5 in the second year, and I think peaked at about 18 horses. Came to Middleham at the end of 1988 with just 13 horses. Now we'd have around 210, and we're actually down on numbers a little bit. I think the peak was in 2011 or 12 with about 240 to 250 horses.
And I can find out a little bit from going for a run myself this morning. It's quite tough round here, isn't it? Is that why your horses are so fit, all this uphill work they do?
Yeah, I think most trainers nowadays do uphill work. I think that's well, not just the modern trend, it's how training centres like Middleham and Malton and Newmarket and Lambourne evolved in Britain on suitable land, usually with a hill and the right turf conditions to provide good going as much of the year as possible.
Here I see you've obviously done quite a little bit of work on the Tapita. You've obviously got quite a range of facilities at your disposal.
Yes, this is now, we trained on Middleham Moor on the public gallops until 2009. We'd bought this farm in 2003 and started developing gallops straight away. So now we have a 10 furlong Tapita, and we've got poly-track, trotting tracks and walking tracks, and 2.5 miles of grass gallops. So we've got everything we need here. We don't need to go outside our own facilities.
Do you think part of that is how you've been able to tempt some of the bigger owners away from Newmarket? Because historically, racing's been all about the south, really.
Well, Sheikh Mohammed, or Darley, first sent a horse here owned by Saeed Manana back in 1993. So we managed to tempt them reasonably early in my career. And there was just one horse that year, Pearl Kite. She won at York on her only start. The next year, 4 more came. And then Sheikh Maktoum came. Well, the 4 more were from Sheikh Mohammed himself, and then Sheikh Maktoum, and then a few years later Sheikh Hamdan, and built up gradually to today when a few years ago most of the horses transferred to Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed, and we now have around 90 horses for him.
And some of them this year have been real stars. Of course, Berrettino started out in his colours. Has he surprised you at all? Because he's just been brilliant this season. The Coventry was a huge high.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Been very busy early on. Coventry was his 6th start of the year. It started on the very first day of the season when we were in Dubai at the World Cup, and Berrettino was running at Chelmsford. Won that day and has climbed all the way through. to Group 2 level.
And then obviously you'll have another go at a Group 1 with him for the end of the season?
Absolutely, but I think we learned in Ireland that he really isn't at his best unless the ground is properly fast. So we've got to look for fast ground. We'll keep him well entered up and keep looking for the right conditions.
And Sixth Sense has been another one who's starred in the same silks this year. What's the plan for him?
He had to do the job last time as pacemaker in Ireland, which was a bit hard on him, so he's having a little bit of a rest now. But he's certainly a group horse in his own right, and we maybe look at something like the Royal Lodge towards the end of the year.
What do you think it is that's made the 2-year-olds so successful this year? Is it better pedigrees? Have you done something different? What sort of changed it around?
Well, there's more of them for a start. There's a lot of them. We've got 140 2-year-olds altogether, so around 2/3 of the string are 2-year-olds, or maybe a little bit more than 2/3 of the string are 2-year-olds. And I knew that it was going to be quite a different year, big transition for us, and so we didn't train them any differently, but we started looking early, and we knew we had to hit the tracks running early on, and it's worked extremely well for us.
Just looking back down the years, some of your best horses have been Dubai Own, Shamadal, Monte Rosso. It must have been great to see those go on and star, okay, for other trainers, but still to really scale the heights after they started here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's no doubt that Shamadal was the best horse I've ever had, and the best horse most people would ever have had, and particularly wonderful to see him go on and be such a great success at stud. That's a real thrill when you see the progeny of a horse you trained day after day.
And Monte Rosso, when he won the World Cup, I think I was one of few people to be supporting him that day. It was a bit of a surprise, but I guess you knew he was a very good horse.
We knew he was a very good horse, but to be fair, Godolphin had him for well over a year at that point. They'd had a whole season with him the year before. So it was very gracious of Sheikh Mohammed to give us as much credit as he did, because the horse was all Godolphin by that stage. But a lovely, lovely horse. We loved him when he was here, and it was a great thrill to see him win that day.
And just looking at Dubai, you were one of the sort of pioneers of international racing over there. I think you even had a winner at Jebel Ali, and you've been a regular at the carnival ever since.
Yeah, I did have a winner at Jebel Ali, and I think Jebel Ali is a great track, a really good track, and a little bit more like a European track in many ways because of the hill. So it was good to have runners there, and it's just very exciting to go to Dubai in the winter. The prize money is so fantastic, and you see the best horses from all over the world.
And your horses seem to thrive when they get back. I mean, Sanoki and Star Universal, I suppose, is the best example. He did brilliantly when he came home. Yeah,
it's been a very interesting thing, because I think one of Sheikh Mohammed's dreams when he first started racing in Dubai was that the horses would benefit from the sunshine during the winter. And it hasn't seemed to work for everyone, but it's worked incredibly well for us, and I can't really explain it. We have had many horses that have gone to Dubai and shown some of the worst form of their lives, and come straight back and straight into their best ever seasons here. We've even, many, many years ago, we had a horse called Gothenburg who literally got off the plane at Heathrow and went round to Kempton. He had done nothing special in Dubai, went round to Kempton and got beaten a short head in a group race 24 hours after landing off the plane. So it's worked very, very well for us, and if nothing else, we can always say that Dubai is a wonderful holiday for the horses and pick me up, and they seem to thrive for the whole of the next year.
So with that in mind, we'll see you with something out in January, hopefully?
I hope so, but it's tough now. You've got to have a very good horse to justify bringing it to Dubai. It's very, very competitive racing, so you've got to have good horses.